I've made quite a lot of games overall, however they all kind of fall under the same category of quote-unquote unoriginal, as in I wouldn't consider them games that I would actually sell. Not that I probably would sell any at this point in time, but like they're not games that I could get money for because they are copyright, you know, there's stuff all over them. So I've for quite a while now had numerous attempts at making original games. Obviously there's Staff of Life, Restart, Seal Game, and Last Resort. Those are the four big ones. Like, technically there's been a few others here and there, but like they're so minuscule in terms of how much came up with them that there's no point mentioning them. But it's gotten to the point now where I'm not really I haven't made a new idea for quite some time. All of those games, the ideas for them are over a year old. So I haven't really made any new ideas, and that's mainly because I want to actually, you know, finish the ones that I've currently got, because I do like all the ideas, and it would be nice to actually, you know, have them each they each have their own game, you know, but that's obviously takes time. There's reasons for each of them why I didn't make them, but then there's also reasons why I would like to make them, and I've kind of spent some time looking at all of them and made a mental list of what I like about them and what I don't like about them, and I've kind of added it all up and decided which of those four games I'm just going to work on until it comes out. No, because my excuse is always it takes time, but that's kind of a bad excuse because all of them are going to take time no matter what. I should just kind of get to it instead of, you know, complaining that it's going to take a long time. So yeah, they each have their own problems and reasons as to why I'd rather do another one, but then they each have their own reasons why I'd want to do that one. So I'm not going to go into too much detail because I could be here for like an hour talking about those four games and what I like and dislike about them. But I would like all of them to, as I said, eventually have a game, but kind of I gotta pick one of the four that would make a good first one. So the first one I'm ruling out is Restart. Restart it's got the most games out of those four. It's got 3 games. It's got Restart, it's got Restart in all caps, and then it's got Restart Restarted. Now, it's just kind of down to the genre itself, not the platforming aspect, but the idea of you just die, you know, like that you just reset. When you die, the game just restarts. So that's its gimmick. It's in the name. The games on Scratch live up to its name. The one on the Restart Restarted kind of drifts away from the idea a bit more because you kind of, there's like this hub world thing. It kind of takes away from the aspect of the whole game restarts when you die. So due to that, I can't really add much to the game without it kind of losing what makes it unique, which is the fact that it's effectively hardcore. You know, if you die too bad, you go to the very beginning. It's just the nature of the game. So that restart won't be the one I'm going to focus on because I can't add, I just literally can't add that much to it, because obviously it would just kind of defeat the whole point of the game. Next one I'm ruling out is Last Resort. Last Resort is the newest to be made. It's technically the second newest idea, but it's the newest to actually kind of have some prototype actually coded. But the reason I'm mainly ruling it out is because it's a tower defense. I know I made it a tower defense, and I don't think it should not be a tower defense. It's just I've spent the past year and a half working on tower defenses, Red Tactics and Red Tactics Amplified, and I don't know if I want to spend another half a year working on another tower defense this soon. I like the idea, but it's also kind of less iconic, as in the other 3 all have mascots. You know, you've got Blub, you've got Spud, and you've got Simon. This one, yeah, there are characters in it, but they're not really mascotty. You know, they don't represent the game. The game doesn't really have a character, so it's kind of, I want to make a game where you play as a character, because, yeah, I've spent the last year and a half now making games where you don't play as characters. It would be nice to make one where you actually do play as one. So that is the main reason for ruling it out. I do like the story, and I'm very happy with the name, like, kind of how it kind of means 2 things, you know, it's the last resort, and it's also humanity's last resort against the aliens. I like the alien design. It's the first one I actually kind of made music for, which I'm happy enough with, so it's a good idea, just not one that I want to do now. So then that leaves Staff of Life and Seal Game, also known as Simon the Seal and the Sea of Story, which is a very long name. And these two are probably the biggest out of the two, the most ambitious, but like I said, I'm not going to let that get in the way of making the game, because that's just a bad excuse, saying it's too ambitious. So I mean, there's bad things for both of them. The bad thing for Staff of Life is it's kind of just a boring game. It doesn't really have a unique selling point. It's just kind of a platformer, and even then, in the like kind of demo I made, it's more of a puzzle game. It's a very bad platformer, and like it's cruel. Like you kind of fall down holes, and then you can't tell if there's spikes down it, so you just die. Visually, it's fine. I mean, visually, both of them are fine. Happy enough with them. Story-wise, Staff of Life is kind of blown out of proportion a bit too much. But yeah, the main problem with Staff of Life is it's just a boring game. The main problem with Seal Game is, unlike Staff of Life, the way Staff of Life would be structured is that you get introduced into more enemies as you go along. The enemies will end up stacking. So at first you get introduced into Rock Rat, then there's Rock Rat and Mushman, then there's Rock Rat, Mushman, and Phlox, and so they all kind of stack up. Whereas in Seal Game, each area has a different roster of enemies. They don't stack, it's just completely different, which would in the end mean making more animations and, you know, coding more enemies, so that would obviously take longer. But as mentioned, that's not really an excuse, which is why Seal Game is going to be the one I'm going to be focusing on. It has a unique mechanic. I like the jumping mechanic. It's different. I haven't seen. There's probably a game that's done something similar out there before, but I haven't seen a mainstream one. So I like how, you know, you kind of can't control the jumping as well, and you kind of, there's the fish you gotta collect, which allows you to jump in different ways and do different things. I like the characters, I like the story, I like the setting in Antarctica. I feel like that's quite unique, and it's about seals, which are my favorite animal. So, you know, it's kind of, I have a connection with it, you know. So yeah, it kind of is the one that felt the funniest. Like Staff of Life kind of felt weirdly serious for a game about a tentacle creature. Like it's really it's really like depressing, kind of same with Last Resort. It's quite a depressing game when you think about it. It's a post-apocalyptic. Restart doesn't have a story, but this story, Seal story, it's not depressing. It's just you play as a seal going through an ice cream like facility. So yeah, this is not really depressing. It's just kind of a goofy story, and I like it. And I just like the premise of it. I like the characters. It's the one that I feel people would want the most out of the four. From kind of each of these games have had a little time period focus to them, and it seems this game probably had like the most positive kind of feedback, as in like positive response. People would actually like it, and I also like it. So yeah, that's it. Simon the Seal and the Seal Story will be the next game, and for probably the first original Lucky Labs game. Woo! So yeah, I'm not obviously only going to work on this, because I will work on this original game alongside the unoriginal games like Moron Mayhem and Project Summer, but it will be the main focus for the original side of things until it comes out. I don't know what form it will come out in. I'm obviously not going to make it perfect, otherwise it'll just never come out, but if I end up with something I'm happy with, I will release it. So yeah, that's about it to say. There will probably end up being devlogs on it, because out of all of them, Seal Game probably actually had the least made for it. Not even enough for like one devlog, because it's just kind of a map where you jump around. So yeah, but I'll probably start making some devlogs, start making some progress, and yeah, that's kind of it. Hopefully I don't I stay as Mr. Definitive, and I, you know, get this game done, because I want to get an original game done. Yeah, let me know if you want this game. Not that it would change anything, but out of the four, which is your favorite? Let me know, because I'm curious to see how many like Seal Game the most as well. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in probably the next or the first Seal game devlog. Goodbye.